All right, today we're going to dive into a pretty ruthless but powerful philosophy of business. The core idea? It says that making massive profits isn't really about having some amazing product. Nope, it's about building a great system. A system that's specifically designed to tap into human weakness. So, let's see how this all works.
So, the whole philosophy really just hangs on this one single, kind of brutal idea. Forget everything you've heard about innovation or, amazing customer service. According to this way of thinking, the real engine behind profit, it's just understanding and, well, leveraging the flaws and desires that are hardwired into every single one of us.
And this is where it all gets really practical, right? It's not just theory. This idea maps those ancient sins directly onto modern billion-dollar industries. Think about it. Our laziness, our sloth, that's what fuels the entire e-commerce and delivery economy. Our greed, that's the engine of finance. Lust, yeah, that powers a huge chunk of social media. The point is, the biggest companies out there, they aren't trying to fix these parts of our nature. They're literally building empires on top of them.
Okay, to really make this idea stick, the source uses this fantastic metaphor. It asks you to imagine the entire world economy as one giant casino. And in this casino, you're not just a customer, you're a player. The thing is, there are only 3 roles you can possibly have in this game.
And wow, this really shows you the breakdown. It's pretty staggering. An overwhelming 99% of people are what we'd call gamblers. They're the ones playing the games that have been set up for them. And then you've got this tiny 1%. They're the owners, the ones who own the tables and, the whole casino itself. As you can probably guess, the odds are not exactly split down the middle.
So let's break these roles down, because this is super important. At the very bottom, you've got the gambler. This is your classic entrepreneur, right? Risking their own time, their own money on an idea. A step up from that is the table owner. Now, they're a little smarter. They use other people's money, think venture capital, to build one specific game. But the real master, the person at the very top, is the casino owner. They don't play. They don't even really own a specific table. They own the entire system. And because of that, they profit from every single bet, no matter who wins or who loses.
And this right here is the absolute key. How do you stop being just another player at the table and become the person who designs the whole game? Well, it takes a fundamental shift, a complete change in how you see the very thing you're trying to sell.
This is the perfect example from the source, and I love it. A player, a gambler, thinks, hey, I'm great at making spring rolls, so I'm going to sell spring rolls. Simple enough, right? They're selling a product. But the casino owner, they think completely differently. They think, how can I sell the system for selling spring rolls? See the difference? They're not just selling a meal. They're selling a franchise, a business model. One sells a snack, the other sells an empire.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, it's that classic strategy, right? Selling shovels during a gold rush. The real money wasn't in digging for gold. It was in selling the tools to all the hopeful prospectors. Today, it's about selling live streaming kits to wannabe influencers or building a platform like Airbnb for people who want to rent their homes. In every single one of these cases, you're not playing the game yourself. You're profiting from everyone else's ambition to play.
But wait, it doesn't even stop there. The ultimate level of mastery, the real end game, is when you stop chasing profit at all. Instead, you build a system so powerful, so attractive, that customers and their money just start chasing you. This is all about moving from persuasion to pure magnetic attraction.
And this taps into a really fundamental human truth. The second we feel like we're being sold to, what happens? Our walls go up, right? We get defensive. But when we truly desire something, we'll literally line up around the block to get it. I mean, just think about a new iPhone launch. Apple isn't out there trying to persuade anyone. People are actively, eagerly just waiting to hand over their money.
And here's the 3-step framework for how a company like Apple does it. First, you build the idol. That's the brand, the thing that represents creativity, luxury, high status. Then, step 2, you create heaven. This is where you build this intense desire, this aspiration for the lifestyle that brand promises. And finally, and this is maybe the most important part, you provide the bridge. You make it ridiculously easy for people to get to that heaven through beautiful stores, simple websites, easy financing, whatever it takes.
Okay, now we've reached the final, and maybe the most challenging piece of the puzzle. It's a bit of a paradox, really. It's a set of 2 completely opposite rules that you have to live by if you truly want to master this game.
This is the duality at the very heart of this whole thing. For your customers, For them, you must follow and cater to their human nature, their desire for ease, for status, for instant gratification. You basically satisfy their weaknesses. But for yourself, you have to do the complete opposite. You have to relentlessly fight your own nature, your own laziness, your own desire for comfort, all your excuses. In other words, you have to master yourself while you're catering to the unmastered desires of everyone else.
And that brings us right back to the one question this whole idea is built around. When you really look at your work, your career, your ambitions, are you the one at the table, placing bets and just hoping for a win? Or are you the one who's building the casino, where you profit no matter how the dice land? Because thinking about that, well, the answer changes absolutely everything.